Hi everyone. Today what I'm going to talk to you about is how to select high probability point of interest and how to look for a market to engage in. Just to clarify that I am a Nasdaq trader and here we have the ES chart. The reason why I'm going to show you the ES chart is for you to see how I see high probability setup. Because I don't trade ES, I didn't take this trade, but there is something that I wanted you to see today. First thing is, in my anticipation, what I wanted to see is price displace through the Asia low and then function Asia low as resistance. So this is my A to reach this specific imbalance, which also had this beautiful engineered liquidity right there. So what I'm going to do right now is drop to the 1 minute time frame and show you exactly when and how I would have participated in. Just before I do that, why is this a high probability drawing liquidity, and why is this a high probability point of interest? Well, during New York AM, what we refer back to is London highs and lows, and we also refer back to Asia highs and lows. As you can see, we had London SMT, then we dropped down, 9:30 opened, and we also had London SMT here, right here with Nasdaq, and then we displaced below the Asia low. Whenever we displace below a previous cycle, we want the previous cycle to be used as resistance on price for it to reach another liquidity pool and into an imbalance, because that's the two functions that price wants to meet, right? So this is why this was selected. If price went into a spool mode, then I would have anticipated the daily low to be reached. However, we're in January, the first accumulation, and as you saw from my higher time frame analysis that I did on my Telegram, that I anticipate the yearly A to begin when point A or point A down here, what I shared in my Telegram, is reached. So therefore, I anticipate majority of January to consolidate. Saying that, now I'm going to drop to the 1 minute time frame and build up the story for you. Okay, so when we look at the 1 minute time frame, first thing I want you to see is the 9:30 open, which is right here. 9:30 opens highs. Nasdaq takes out the London high, whilst ES fails to do so. So therefore, we have a session SMT. One of the most powerful SMTs we can have during New York AM is London SMT, because it is the previous cycle that price refers back to. And if we have a look at this 30-minute period, and we understand that we displace below the Asia low, as we can see right here. And what I'm going to do for you guys is make this into an open high low close. If you think that's the open, that's the wick of the candle, this is the body of the candle, and after we have the close, low of the candle and retrace, that is a small wick at the bottom. Okay, if you're finding it hard to visualize this candle, is basically this is what it would look like right here, and that would be the wick of the candle. Show you, if I was to just draw that here, that would be essentially what the candle looks like. Okay, so now you know how I visualize that candle. Even looking at the 1 minute chart, what I'm about to show you is actually referring to true OTEs. And one of the best way to see true OTEs is from the body of the candle. So this is the open price. This is the closing price right here. So if I hover over it, that's the closing price. That's the opening price. And what I'm going to do is find the 50% from the open to the low, sorry, to the close of the candle. Let's go to the open. Let's go to the close. And what I purposely did here is left the price level for the equilibrium. So as you can see, it's 6987.75. And I'm going to write that for you here. 6987.75. Bear in mind that I already anticipated Asia low to be used as resistance. So how high can it go? Where would I ideally want it to go? Is the OTE, so the 50% fair value of the previous candles range. So when I talk about the previous candles range, what I'm looking for is the previous cycle, which is here. We're using the 30-minute cycle, as this is the most relevant cycle to 10 o'clock. That's a gem for you guys right there. Why is that a gem? This is, and this was, one of the main volatility injection that day. We opened high with a session SMT, followed by a displacement through key liquidity pools. So this is validating everything as a key time cycle. So therefore, the 50% of that time cycle is significant to me. Okay, so remember what I said. I anticipate Asia low to be used as resistance on price. If it gets overzealous, how high can it go? Well, let's look at the high that was formed right here. And what I'm going to do is put that price level here. Now I want you to look at the high. The high of the 10 o'clock is exactly 6987.75. 6987.75 to the tick. And this is what we meant when we said Friday ES was cleaner. This is algorithmic for me. This is the things that I love to see. Okay, so after that, you can see that we've got, this is one of the things to you, you probably can't see the market structure shift pattern happening right there. When I went to market replay, you can immediately see the SMTs that are forming. But look, if I drop down to the 15 seconds, wow, what we have is high, low, the low forming inside of this BISI, and then this is the first point, this intermediate term low gets displaced through, and then another one here, we have the mitigation block version. So a mitigation block with an SMT is a high probability mitigation block. We've got the breaker, mitigation block, both getting displaced through. To me, this is a really high probability SMR and a CSD. But it's not surprising because everything on ES was anticipated. Okay, and then it follows a beautiful within that price level itself, as in from the equilibrium to the low that it created, a beautiful, beautiful market maker sell model. That's the thing. This may not be enough for you, but this is plenty for some who knows the right money management strategy to use and also confident about his SMRs. If the SMR is happening to the tick, you can imagine what that would do to someone's confidence who anticipated an SMR to form at that level, and then seeing multiple SMTs and then seeing this beautiful, beautiful market structure shift going from buy program into a sell program. And it's no surprising that this is a nice low resistance liquidity run. So I hope you understood the key takeaways from this lecture. One is how I framed A to B from the higher time frame. And secondly, when the A got activated, how I looked for algorithmic precision to show me that it's going to be a fractal point of interest that's going to be high probability and algorithmic as well. And when I saw the lower time frame show me SMT and a beautiful CSD, that's when I'm confident that this is my fractal A, and this is my fractal B, and this is where the low resistance liquidity runs happens. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.